I'm Andrea. I'm a writer, developmental editor, and the author of the Magic Pie Shop series. I make videos about writing and editing, so if you're interested in seeing more, please give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Today I want to talk about how I use Scrivener. It's a writing program. It's one of those programs that has a lot of features. I've watched some videos on using it before, and there's so many things you can do with it. I only use a fraction of those features, but I really love the program. I love working with it. Um, and it's because of the way I write. I jump around a lot. I'm kind of a mess. So I'm going to share how I use it, what works best for me. So I'll just show you from the start what I like to do. You do file, new project here. I do fiction and novel, though there are different options here if you want to play around with other ones. And let's do just a nice testing. 1, 2, 3. So you have your manuscript here, chapter here. In this first chapter, I usually keep random scenes. And then what you can do is you can just right click or two click, depending on how you have your mouse set up, and go to duplicate. And then you can also do just Command D and D and go through and add as many chapters as you think you might have. And then in each chapter, you just have one scene right now, but if you'd like to split out your scenes, you can also just hit the plus button here. You can go to the little arrow here and you can add a new folder if you want. I'll talk about character sketches and setting sketches in just a second here, but I also wanted to point out that there's this part over here. It's called the inspector. You can make notes. I don't really use that part, so I usually go to view and hide inspector because it just gets in my way, and I prefer to look at two documents side by side because I like to look at either an outline in my document, or sometimes I have, one version of the document here and then I'm rewriting it in the other side. So you can go to view and let's see, editor layout. And you have a couple options to split here. I prefer to split vertically. And that way, yeah, you can look at two different things. Let's say you turn this into your outline and then your scene here. And then over here, you want to point out that you can rename these documents. So that you can see, or you can interesting things happen. You can make it, label it so that you know what's in that scene. That can be really helpful later if you do move scenes around, or just to kind of see what happens in each chapter. All right, and then just, a few side notes here. Down in this note section at the bottom, you can keep track of character sketches. So you can either go some character sketches, or just if you're in that folder and you just hit the plus button, it will just keep adding them. So here, you can name your character, give them an age. You can add notes about them. And then you can also just put their name there. Add, however many notes you want. If you're like me, I quickly forget what color hair, what color eyes, all these things. This is a great way to keep track of some of that for both major and minor characters. I also like to cast someone as the main character. It helps me keep kind of a solid image in my head. So I'll often add a picture as well. And that way, also, when they make all my books into movies, I have the actors picked out. So I assume they're all waiting by their phones for this to happen. Then you can also, it's the same with places. You can do some setting sketches. So you can either just hit the plus button, go the right arrow, add setting sketches. You can just keep track of all your notes here, add pictures. It's so nice. Just to have everything all in one place. Also in the manuscript here, as you can see, if you hit this, you can have these note cards. It's set up like this. So you can keep some notes on here, if you just want to write the basic things that happen in chapter 1, you can write a few sentences here. You don't have to spell or anything because it ultimately won't be a part of your book, but it can be a really nice way to keep track of some of that stuff. And then you can also take and move these around. And it's the same within here. You can move, scenes around in here. I think that's really nice because I'm kind of a mess when I write. So sometimes I just write a bunch of scenes and then I'm moving them around. Sometimes it comes out in order. But it's nice to have the option to switch things around super easy. And then, so yeah, if you want to see, you can either hit the manuscript button or you can change around on here how you're viewing things. So this is just your whole manuscript all at once. This is I believe they call it, oh, I gotta go back into the whole manuscript, the corkboard version. And then also you can look at everything this way. And if you do this, there we go. Let's see. So I think there are a few different ways to do this, but I'm going to show you how I do it. So if you're in a chapter, you can, first of all, you can set a target for the whole project. And I do really like that. So if you go into project and you can do show project targets, and here I've written 3 whole words. Yay. But let's say maybe you're using this for NaNoWriMo, whatever. So you do 50,000 words. And then you can go into options. And I usually allow overrun. You can give yourself a deadline. 23. Good. Let's do the end of so it's automatically calculating here. Oh, wait, no, it is not yet automatically calculating. So you also have to go into session target, and I do not count text written anywhere in the project because otherwise it will count all your notes and everything at the bottom. You can count it. I do allow negatives and I do automatically calculate from the draft deadline. I usually allow writing on the day of the deadline. And then you can also select, if you're not planning to write weekends, for example, you can select certain writing days, whatever. I think that's really nice because then there you go. Now it is showing me the amount I have to write each day. And it will, the bar will move here. It will move here to show you how far you are for your daily goals and how far along you are for your whole project. I like to keep an eye on that. You can also set specific targets for each chapter. So you hit this little target over here in the corner. And, like, for example, if you want each chapter to be 2,500 words, you can show overrun and you can show allowance in progress bar, show target notifications, whatever you want to show all the things. So yeah, down here it was, as you write, it will show progress. I can't write and talk very well. Luckily, I don't have to too often. But here too, it will show in this bar, I think ultimately it changes to green at the end once you've hit your goal. I love all the tracking things. So I like to use all of those, and then don't forget to file save. You can also select backup to, and you can save it in Dropbox. I really like that just in case, your computer explodes or whatever might happen. You can have it out there on Dropbox. I also tend to, every now and then, I go in and I'll just select, the whole manuscript and save it in like a Google Doc or something just to make sure I have it somewhere. Sometimes we writers can be really nervous about backing up our projects. So I like to have it in a few different places just in case everything falls apart. I haven't had that happen yet where, it just disappears, but I'm more likely to just get confused by all the different versions I have. It's fine. It's fine. It's a view over here, this outline view. This is where you can see if you have different targets for all your different chapters, you can see all your progress there. You can also play around with the outliner options. There are a lot of different choices here. You can pick. I like a good word count. All of these things in view. that you can it's again, there are just so many things you can do with Scrivener. It can be overwhelming, I think, if, you try to do all of the things or try to even learn all of the things. That's just me. So I kind of focus on the things I like. I like to see the word count. I like to set the goals. I like to be able to move scenes around. So those are the things I use the most. I really like this side by side feature because I do that a lot when I'm writing. Also, you can have two screens, which is really nice too, if you're able to have that set up. But if you don't, you can just have it split on your screen here. You go at the end, when you're done, you're ready to put this all into some form. You can compile it. So you compile, and that's under File, Compile. And you can do different versions. So you can compile for print, you can make it into a PDF. There's also, you can play around with compiling it for an ebook or a Kindle ebook to get that Mobi file. So all kinds of things you can do. And you can add the front matter, add back matter, and that's another thing over here. You have all these options to create the title page. You can create copyright page dedication, all of these things, and have them all right in here. There's this note section I also use sometimes to keep my outline in here. And research, I don't really often use that because I usually have everything else in my notes or character setting sketches, all those other places, but it is an option. Keep things down here if you want. So that's it. That's how I use Scrivener. Please comment down below. Let me know if you've used this before or if there's another writing program you prefer. I'd love to hear all about it. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back soon with a new video. Bye.